We are the Girls Who Gab.
Beep. It's so refreshing.
So good.
Yum.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Bayley.
And today's episode is going to be all about our personality test. Do we know the name of this personality test?
No, I have absolutely no idea. My roommate sent it to me.
Yeah,
so.
it's the one that gives you the 4 letters. So to start off, I'm an INFJ A.
And I'm an ESFP A.
Yeah, so those are it's that kind. I can't remember the name of this type of personality test, but those are the ones that we took. And so we're going to go through all of our answers and stuff like that and our differences because
I'm excited.
Very different.
We haven't discussed it yet with each other. We only know what it told us we are.
Like the name,
but we didn't go into depth about anything. So I'm super excited to see how this turns out.
Yeah. Have you taken this test before?
I did take it before, but I took it just to kind of read what it gave me, the name that I was, but I didn't go in depth, the strengths and weaknesses, the relationship, the career, and all this stuff. I did not go that in. And then this time I have a bunch of notes and I'm really excited.
Yeah. I have taken this test before. I took it I think a couple of years ago. Me and Matt both took it and went through our answers and stuff. So once it came up again with the same answer, I was like, oh, I've done this before. So it was fun to reiterate and take notes again.
Yes. I love it. Okay, so first, before we get into it, as you can see, we are drinking things a little differently, or we're drinking different things than normal.
Yes.
Usually we make our cocktails, and I was just feeling a refresher this week, I needed beer. Not that Angry Orchard is beer. For those of you who cannot see, we are drinking Angry Orchard. Yes. Cassie brought the whole pack, so it has different flavors and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm drinking a pear one because that's my favorite one, and Bailey doesn't like it.
And that's gross. And I'm drinking the OG because I just like the crisp apple.
It's so good. It's so Smith.
I was craving a beer thing. And this isn't it, but this is it to me. And this is it's great.
And they're sweet. I like the sweet for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're gonna start with cheers to that because pour one out is a whole thing.
Yeah.
So what's your cheers to that for this week?
The cheers to that is definitely hard this week. I feel like I think I'm gonna go with the one that's really hitting hard on a lot of people in general, which my cheers to that is that I still have a job.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's awesome.
Yeah,
I know
really
that
good.
I have an income and all that. It's a good one for me.
Yeah. So then I'm going to start with my pour one out because my pour one out is that I don't have a job right now. But I'm not really taking it too hard. I'm not really seeing it yes, it is sad and it is negative, but I'm spending a lot of time at home and I really love spending time at home, and I really only have a part-time job, so it's not changing too much in my routine and my schedule and minus the fact that I physically can't go outdoors, but that's fine. That's it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I filed for unemployment. Hopefully things.
Yeah. Have you heard back yet?
Stuff. Or anything? No, it's so weird. I'm not hearing anything.
The unemployment rate in America this week. So we're filming this for those listening and watching. We're filming this on the 20th of... Wait, what day of the month is it? Yeah, on the 20th. Yeah. We're filming it on the 20th of March, so we've officially been social distancing for a week.
Yeah.
And as of last night, Governor Newsom put us on a enforced safe at home thing.
Yeah, it's not worded quarantine or something like that.
It's not.
Yeah,
so we're technically not supposed to be hanging out, but we are doing all of the other precautions, and we're not hanging out in large groups or with anybody else
for that matter. Yeah. I physically have been in my house and not left since Monday morning, and that was just to go to the grocery store, and that was it. It was just me, and that's it. And so
so Yeah,
so we will have a whole different... We're going to get through this time in our lives, and we decided to wait through the whole thing and kind of see how, like, it affects us, and, like, so that we can come back and have a whole episode and really talk, you know, in depth about how the experience was and how it affected us, or if it did any good for us or our relationships or anything like that. So we're going
to have an episode, and that'll come out probably, like, with our setup right now. We have a pretty good schedule, so I'm thinking that we won't have that episode up until, like, late in April.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then it'll be a to look back on, not a we're still currently
still living
it.
Yeah.
So with that said, my pour one out is everything that's going on with the coronavirus and everything, like, just the social distancing, the fact that so many people are losing their jobs, like, my anxiety itself, like, very individually, my anxiety has been really, really high. I, like, last weekend was not, like, okay. Like, I spent almost all of Saturday, like, kind of in a depressive mood. Like, I was crying a lot. I, like, watched Disney movies in bed because I couldn't focus on anything. I've, like, really been implementing I've been using meditation to try to calm down. Like, in the middle of my work day, I have to take a 10-minute break and, like, do a meditation because I can't physically focus on what I need to get done until I calm my mind a little bit. Yeah. So, like, it's just been really rough internally, and then obviously, like, everyone's experiencing these, like, really big drastic changes, the lack of toilet paper, the long lines at the grocery store, like, all of those things. It's all all of it.
Yeah.
Do you have a cheers to that?
Yeah, I do. So my cheers to that is actually going to be like a story of something that Amelia and I experienced. So I needed to take a shower really bad, and I let her take a shower with me. And so anyways, I'm sitting on the toilet peeing, and I let the water heat up before I get in, and then I always go pee, and then by that time I'm done peeing, whatever. And then the shower, okay, so yeah, that's the thing, okay. So while I'm peeing, Amelia really wanted to get in, so she got completely naked and then just jumped in. I was like, okay, that's fine. So then she's in their shower, and then she's, like, screaming, Mom, I gotta go pee. I'm like, just go in the shower. Like, it's okay. Just go. I was like, if stand up or sit down. She felt really uncomfortable, and it was really awkward for her.
It was, like, her first time ever.
Yes, yeah.
That's so cute.
Or at least remembering it, that case, because there's been cases.
Of course.
So she, like, squatted down and then peed, and then she was like, okay, I'm done, and all happy and giddy. And then finally I jump in the shower. And then I had, like, just barely stepped foot in the shower, and she's like, Mom, go pee. I'm like, I don't have to go pee. No, go pee. And she's like yelling at me to go pee because she thinks it's now the right thing to do, and that once we step in the shower, we go pee in the shower. And it was like a whole conversation. And so I fake squatted down and was like, okay, I'm going pee then. Okay, I'm done. All done. Now we're going to shower. And it was like a whole thing. So that was like cheers to that, because, like, we haven't gone stir crazy yet, and so
so cute.
It was so hilarious. I can't.
What weird stories of parenting?
I have them on a daily.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But I love it. So for those of you that are listening and watching, there's a little pick me up for you.
Hilarious. Okay, well, now that we've, like, gotten our immediate thoughts on coronavirus out of the way, we, like I said, we will eventually have an episode all about it, but as of right now, we're gonna try to, like, stray away from the whole topic, just to kind of, like, give everyone a break from all of the excess conversation about it. I feel like even when I, like, want to not talk about it, it's been really hard to not talk about it. So, we're not gonna bring it up from now until the end of this episode.
Yes,
and we're going to talk about our personality traits.
Pardon me. So, do you want to do her? How are you going to do this? Do you want to do it by, like...
I think we should go in the sections.
Okay, agreed. So then we can kind of compare it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So starting off, what is your name?
So my personality type is an entertainer.
And are you?
And I am assertive.
So I'm also assertive. I'm an assertive advocate. And the thing that we looked up for the assertive, there was assertive or turbulent, and turbulent was more of, like, the personality that doesn't, like...
They question themselves more.
Like, they're not okay with
comfortable would be the word.
With the personality trait that they are. So we're both assertive. We're both very with who we are. Apparently.
I love it.
Okay, so did you write down the percentages?
I did write down. Did you?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff.
So I'm 56% introverted.
Okay, I am 82% extroverted.
Oh my god. Okay, so the introverted, so the 56% really made sense to me for myself because I am also extroverted. So it makes sense that it's more 50-50, but like a little bit leaning on the introvert because like we definitely know each other well enough to know that I'm way more likely to be like, hey, let's hang out at the house. You are more now, for sure. Yeah. But I think that's more because like kid and life and stuff. But like I'm way more likely to want to hang out in a smaller group and not really like go to bars and party. Yeah. Even when we were in that stage, I was just like, it's fine.
Yeah. No, it's so funny that you say that because like I definitely have become a little bit more of a homebody now, or like close circles now, but I'm still that person that's like, no, you want to go to let's go to the club, let's go, you want to go hop up on a brunch and party till and it's like freaking.
I also feel like you're more likely to make fast friends like in your work environment or whatever, and like be like, hey, like let's go get a drink or whatever it happens to be, whereas I'm way more likely to maintain like a separation of like, hey, like I talk to you at work but you're not my friend, like we are friendly. But you're not my friend until you hit, like, this very specific point in something.
That's so funny that you say it so really quick. I work with this guy. He is such a nice guy. He's gay. He's amazing. I love him. He loves me. Everything's great. We're friends now. But backstory is... Oh, okay. So I told you. Yeah. So we were opening one day at work, me and Chris, and I had said, like, Chris, you're a great friend. And he turns to me. He's like, we're not friends. We are co-workers, okay? And we're friends here at work, but I'm not friends with you outside of work. And he, like, was so dead serious about it, and I died laughing so hard. And I just laughed about it and then walked away. So he came back, like, a couple weeks later after he told me that we're not friends, and he was like, we would be great friends. You would be a great friend. This would be awesome. Amazing. And then, anyways, we ended up hanging out, like, 1 week later, and it was fantastic.
How nice.
Yeah, it was
friendships.
Great. Yeah. Anyways, it was so funny. So what you said reminded me of that.
Yeah, 82% extroverted. Yeah. You.
100%. Yes.
Okay, and then I'm 64% intuitive.
Okay, and I'm 54% observant.
Interesting. Okay, so intuitive versus observant. So observant would be like people watching. Essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas intuitive would be more about like setting your own intentions and stuff like that. I feel like it makes sense that we're both kind of very relatively close to the 50-50 mark on both of those.
Yeah. Because I kind of do the other one too. Like, I am very, like, cautious before I just jump into something kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. And then 78% feeling.
Ooh, okay. I'm 82% feeling.
Oh. Do we know what the opposite of that was?
No. I don't
either. So we're going to just move right along. 61% judging. What's yours?
Yeah. Okay, mine is 60% prospecting.
Okay, what do you think that means?
I have absolutely no idea. There was no way to research, like, the percentage.
Yeah.
Well, okay, there was. I lied. But I didn't click the arrow down. I kind of just kept...
Yeah, just kept going. Well, moving right along.
Yes.
I got 57% identity.
Okay, so the opposite of that was 74% assertive.
So I want to talk a little bit before we go into the strengths and weaknesses, what the advocate is versus what the entertainer is.
Okay.
So the like kind of general description of advocate talked about how, first of all, it's rare, less than 1% of the population is an advocate, and I was like,
proud. Okay.
And they advocates love idealism and morality, and they like to help others. Their helping others tends to be like their purpose in life. So we'll get more into that in the career aspect.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They tend to be decisive and strong-willed, and they're decisive and strong-willed, but they're rarely looking for personal gain. So, like, they're not likely to want to go into sales, for example, or anything that has commission. Like, that kind of job is not really set well because you have to be very, like, individualistic on that front. And then they tend to love the idea of, like, karma and things like that where, like, bigger picture equality and, like, people coming together and like working together is better for everyone.
Okay.
Advocates tend to have an easy time to connecting with others, and they do need a lot of time alone to decompress after
that is
stuff.
100%
and I'm like, yeah, exactly, like,
yeah.
what the heck, how is this so accurate?
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
So I didn't write like the, I guess you could say, definition of an entertainer, but like overlooking everything and like just broad about it is that I'm just like, I'm an outgoing person and I don't really care. Okay, this is like a bad way to put it, but like, yeah, I care about other people, but I also don't care about what other people think. I'm just like me without a care.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. I didn't write down the accurate definition, but that is like
the basis of it.
Yes.
Cool. What were some strengths?
Okay, so some strengths: bold. I don't mind stepping out of my comfort zone, which is accurate because I change things on a daily. Like whether that mean big life changes or like moving my couch. Like it's all of the above. Yeah. It said original, and then it said like love to experiment. So I felt like those were two different things, kind of, sort of. So it kind of threw me off a little bit, but yes. I have showmanship. I'm practical. I prefer to see rather than just kind of trust and believe, which is interesting to me because I'm very believing in like our God, and so that was kind of a turning thing for me. And excellent people skills is a strength. Talkative, witty, and love to pay attention.
Yeah. I feel like this shows up a lot in you as a server.
Yes.
For sure.
Yep.
And then what was the other one? The preferring to see, though. Like, the idea, you talked about, like, the God aspect, but I do think that it matches in regards to, like, you don't, like, overthink things. Okay, I'm going to take the example of you moving to Northern California. When you guys moved, there was, like you had a 3-month-old at the time, and no one lived up there, and you were getting like a big raise. You and Andre were both going to get raises moving up, and it was still in the same work aspect, so you knew what you were going to do, but there was so much other like new stuff going on that like from the outsider looking in, I was like, are you sure that you want to make this
everyone
big...
and their mom.
Yeah, are you sure you want to make this like big move to the middle, not the middle of nowhere, but the middle of where no one you know lives?
Yeah.
When you have a new baby and you have like all of this stuff going on,
and we are trying to take on this new career path for both of us. Like you were saying, we both had been in that industry, in that specific company. Like restaurant company for this a long period of time, but we were going new positions in that, and we were learning, and so
so but you were like, well, how can I know? Basically, like the idea from my perspective of like what you're thinking through it was like, I'll never know if I can succeed unless I try it.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Like, I feel like that matches really well.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point.
Of needing to see. Yeah. Like, needing to experiencing it first.
Yes, I agree. I like that.
My strengths were creativity, and under that I put imagination and compassion, and so this talked about, like, counseling and advising, and so not necessarily in, like, the work of being a counselor and stuff, although we will get into that in the career aspect, but they were talking about, like, in friendships, like, the advocate tends to be a person that people go to for advice, which I feel like, in general, is very true. Like, not everyone, but I do feel like a lot of people tend to ask me, like, to just even talk through, like, what they're going through, if not asking specifically for the word advice.
Yes, agreed.
And then inspiring and convincing, and they can be great orators. And I thought that this one was really interesting because I don't think I'm very good with my words in general. I feel like I stumble a lot, and, like, I say weird things. Like, I don't know, I'm just like a little weirdo. But at the same time, when I'm practicing for some sort of, not necessarily performance, but like a presentation.
Okay.
And I have notes and like I know what I'm talking about and I'm prepared for it, I do feel like I speak really well in that kind of...
Have a little bit more confidence in your
situation. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Decisive, and thinking about how things ought to be and how to get there. So, like, I definitely feel that because a lot of times me and Matt will get into political conversations, and I'm always like about the picture of like, well, this is how it should be, and Matt's bringing me back down to earth, like, that's unrealistic. Like, this is a dumb example, but I'm going to go into it. But, like, I don't like the way the Electoral College works, which is how our president gets picked. And I think that it's unfair to the people because you basically have the popular vote where everyone votes, but then the Electoral College uses it and, like, picks their delegates, so it's not necessarily equal to what the popular vote looks like. And I just think that that's so dumb. And Matt's like, okay, but there's, like, a reason behind it, and also, like, the chances of us ever seeing it go away because it's been in our way of voting since we began America, that, like, it's an unrealistic goal to want that seat gone. And I'm like, I don't care that it's unrealistic. I think that it's not good for everyone. So I definitely see the whole, like, the view of how things should be rather than just, like, a realistic plan of how to get there all the time. Determined and passionate. Yes. I know where I want to be sometimes. And then also going back into what I was just talking about, advocates tend to be altruistic, working for the greater good. So.
Yes.
Fits right in with
that. It does. Which we will go more over for, again, the career path. Yeah. It's fitting you very well. Yes. Okay, so weaknesses. I'm sensitive, strongly emotional, which is 100% accurate because I'm emotional about, everything basically.
I also got sensitive.
Did you? Okay, yeah, because, yes. Conflict / averse. Sometimes ignore and avoid a conflict entirely, which is accurate. Sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm the one who starts, like, in getting more involved in the conflict because I want to, like, solve it right then and there. But yes, a majority of the times I just, like, I'll shut out, stay quiet, and like that's that. A perfect example is like when I went to go tell my mom and dad that I was pregnant or that we were pregnant. I just kind of like after I said it, I zipped my mouth and did not say a single word and just sat there because like that was a really scary moment for me. So like, and I didn't pipe up a word. I let them feed me all their things, and that was that. And just because I didn't want it, it wasn't going to go anywhere. It is.
I also feel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when you come to a point where, like, a friendship isn't working for you, you're more likely to just cut them out rather than, like, argue with it.
100%.
Like that.
Because I don't know, I feel like.
Which, so am I. Yeah. I'm the exact same way. If I don't feel like a friendship is working, especially if it's the type of issue that we're having where I feel like I'm putting it all in.
All the effort.
Yeah. And it's unequal on that, then I almost, like, want to see, well, if I don't put any more effort into this friendship, what's going to happen?
What's going to...
And then it just fades away because they're not putting any
effort. And that's exactly how I am. So that's... okay, so also, poor long-term planners is what it said. To them, things come as they come, which is yes, because I am so a go with the flow. I don't care. Let's just do what the day brings us kind of person. So that was good to hear. And then also it said unfocused was a weakness. And yeah, I'm kind of unfocused.
I definitely see both of those parts in like what I've seen in the last, how long have we been friends? 6 years? In your like decision making regarding your career path.
Yeah.
It like zooms and zigzags, which is not necessarily bad because I think that the more you do it, the more you realize like where you want to be and what you want to do.
Live and learn,
yeah, exactly. But it definitely, I can see that being like, it could definitely be a weakness for somebody who can't find the learning part.
Yes.
The living in the learning part.
Yeah.
For me, was that everything?
Yep.
For me, the weaknesses were being sensitive also, but my sensitive was about, they specified hard to be challenged and criticized, and I giggled, because...
Because yes?
Because yes. Don't like being told I'm wrong at all. Extremely private. This was interesting. A weakness is that they're extremely private in their personal life, and they usually present themselves as the idea rather than as the individual with an idea. And I found this interesting because as time goes on, I'm a lot less private.
Yes.
But yeah, like I'm very open on the internet, like, but I do know that sometimes the things that I'm going through in my life that are not the most positive, I do keep a lot more private. I don't tend to talk on social media when I'm going through a tough time. In these times, it's a lot different, but in general, I don't tend to talk about that because I don't really love watching people do that. So like, I don't want to add to it because I use the internet a lot of times as like a positive space and a place for escape.
Right.
So I don't want to add to the part where you can't escape.
Okay, yeah. I feel you.
Another weakness was perfectionism.
Which is not a weakness.
Well, okay.
Yes, it is. I'm just saying that because I'm also a perfectionist. It was not anywhere listed on my personality test, but I am.
Yeah. So like, I went to this is like such a weird mix, but I went to a perfectionism like seminar thing last semester, and basically it was talking about like the how perfectionism what it can destroy, and how looking at like students specifically, because it was a college seminar, looking at how people who have a perfectionistic view can sometimes have a more detriment look in their classes. So like, oh, they're really good students, they've got A's and B's, but because they have B's, they like can't handle it, and then they tend to start failing. Even though if they hadn't gotten anxious about it and like started freaking out, then they would have passed with A's and B's.
Right.
So I see a lot of that in me. I think I've gotten a lot better at it, but I do see it in me. Another weakness was always needing a cause and finding concrete steps and goals, which I didn't really understand how that was a weakness. And then they can burn out easily, which definitely 100%.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving right along.
Next one was the romantic relationships. So for me, I just kind of wrote 3 quick little bulletins on it. So first bulletin I wrote was relationship with entertainers are simply unforgettable. Which is great. I don't really have feedback on that because I'm not the person dating me, so I think I can't give. I'm a fun person, that's that. They genuinely enjoy spending time together. Yes, Andre and I do not get bored of one another. Like, I feel like a lot of the times I'll read or I'll know people that like, oh, like, my me time is the trip to the grocery store or my shopping spree or like anything like that.
Yeah. Like needing time to yourself.
Yes. Too. Or like a little coffee date with you and your own lonesome self.
Yeah.
But no, that's not me. Me and Andre are like, let's go to the grocery store. Let's go shop and do all of our things in one day together. Even though you don't need to go to the nail salon, but I'll sit there for it. It's like things that's so him and I. And so that was very relatable to me. And we're both open. Well, I say both because it's talking about our relationship. But, like, I'm a very open-minded person. And so in a relationship, I feel like that's really, really strong. And that's good. Which is definitely me in our relationship.
Yeah. Mine talked a lot about how advocates tend to be very picky. Because they tend to not want... They tend to not be easily talked into what they don't want. And they are enthusiastic... about relationships, and like once they find the person that they think fits really well, then they're likely to really pursue it. And then the last note that I made was that intimacy tends to be beyond just the physical aspect, and it's more about becoming one with each other's mind, body, and soul. And
I like that for you too.
All of these fit really well for me. Like, oh, and another thing that it said was advocates they don't tend to like the like uncommitted or shallow intimate relationship partners, which I feel like for my personal experience, it was always one or the other. Like, I was 100% being fine by myself, but also I was down DTF to do that sometimes. But, like, I was way more interested in either having a relationship or not being anywhere near talking about it.
Okay,
like, like, if you wanted to have a buddy, then, yeah, we could do that. But, like, we're not going to, like, mingle on this idea of, like, oh, are we anything? We either are or not. Like, I'm not going to play this game of, like, oh, today we're dating, but tomorrow you don't like me. And that stuff went shut down real quick. Like, I was never interested in that game. So that worked really, that fit.
Yeah, I think that fits you. Really well. Yeah, really well.
Yeah.
Okay, so friendship was the next one. So entertainers, making new friends to them isn't a problem. So,
True.
which is going back to what you said in the beginning, which is so accurate. And it's not that, like, I feel... Like, I don't want it to be portrayed that, like, I feel very highly in myself, that, like, anyone will love me or, like, be friends with me. I want you guys to see it as, like, I just put myself out there, and I'm, like, down to talk to anyone. Like, like, I don't... like, there's no other way to put that. Like, I'll talk to you. Like, at work, perfect example. I'm so... like friend, and I think I wrote this in the career path one because it just fits me so well in my job that I do, but like I'm so friendly at work, and like the minute I walk and I'm just like I have a look on my face and everyone knows what's wrong because I'm that person in the building that says hi to every human being, or like I'm sitting there waiting for something, I'll strike up a conversation. I'm not just gonna stand there awkwardly. Like I want to get involved. I want to know you, not just be so that was really good. Also tend to end old friendships because we focus on the new and positive than the past and the negativity. So also kind of going back to kind of what you said, like if someone's being negative or not trying as hard or like just not giving me that positive energy that I thrive on and that I have, I'm not, there's no point to it, to me. Yeah. I don't want that. So we care sincerely about our friends, which is accurate. And then we hope for someone to run up and say, guess what just happened? Which that one was kind of confusing to me. But, like, I also want people to strike up conversations because I'm down to talk about me and about anything or more. Yeah.
But it's like you want that interaction. Yeah. Like, so you want people to say, like, oh, my gosh, guess what just happened? And then you also are likely to do the same thing. Yeah. That fits really well.
Because I'll do that to anybody, like if I wasn't good friends with you, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, da-da-da-da-da, and I'll go on and on and on.
Exactly.
You know, like...
Yeah, that totally fits.
Yeah, so...
That's so funny.
Okay, that was it for me on my friendship.
Mine said, okay, so advocates are unlikely to have friendships of circumstance, so... And they're more likely to want to find friends that share passions, interests, or beliefs, stuff like that. So I thought this one was interesting because I am a very friendly person. I tend to... I work to spend a lot of time, and now it's a lot easier for me as time has gone on, to make sure that, like, okay, in my job I have now, we've got lots of people in and out of these mental health facilities. You've got the clinical, you've got the program people, you've got so many people. And I like to make sure I say, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, how are you today? And I'm not looking for, like, an in-depth conversation. I just want to acknowledge that we're in the same room. Like, I hate... when I walk into a room and no one acknowledges it.
I do
and same with the other way. Like, if I'm in the room and maybe I'm in the room with, like, 5 other people and one person walks in, so then I'm going to do it because I think that's rude.
Right, yeah.
So, like, it's one of those, like, social aspects, and it's hard to separate these two, like, friend versus just social nicety things.
So I'm going to take on that really quick because I feel like that also partakes to me a lot. So perfect example, Monday morning, me and Paige, my roommate, we go to the grocery store before they open. So there was like at least, we were at least within the first 100 people to get in line. But as we're like walking, past every one of these 100 people to get to the back of the line, people are standing there and they're just like, so focused, not wanting to talk, so like almost like have a pissed off look on their face. And I'm walking through there, me and Paige are like laughing, having a great time, and I'm like, good morning everybody, like how are you? Da da da. And like some people are like, okay, and other people like striked up a conversation with me, and I'm just like why you gotta stand there and be all pouty? Like, just like, yeah, it is what it is, but we're here, let's make the most of it. Oh my god, how long have you guys been here? Like, that was just so me. And so anyways,
I had that very similar conversation with the woman who was standing in line in front of me at the grocery store when the lines were really long.
You have to. You're just gonna stand there awkwardly.
She's actually the one that struck up the conversation. It was very nice to not have to do it.
Right.
But me and Matt were having a conversation, and she
chimed in.
Could obviously hear us. Like, we're standing right next to each other. She chimed in. We were talking about, like, the school's closing down and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I like that aspect of the social stuff. But with that said, like, I'm not likely to ask my coworkers to hang out outside of work.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really do that.
Yeah.
And I get kind of uncomfortable when I am asked to join.
Right.
Because I'm like, like, yes, this could turn into a true friendship. And I do have a couple people at work now that I hang out with, not really regularly, but irregularly outside of work. And I've, like, talked with more serious conversations and stuff like that, more in depth. So, yeah, that person is my friend now. But it's really hard for me to, like, get there. Because I like all this saying, it's very private. Like,
you take your time. Yeah. You, like, think things out.
Which is perfect for the next point, because it says that we take time, and there's a lot of patience to get to know them.
Exactly.
Which is not true of our friendship.
No.
But in general is very true of my friendships.
Yeah. It worked out for the one time we both did.
Yeah, it was it was perfect. And I think it's because, like, we got each other's vibes.
Yes.
Very, like, it matched really well. Mm-hmm. Which, if you haven't listened to our first episode yet, we go into depth about how we met and all that stuff. Yes. So friendship advocates tend to be insightful, and they interpret intentions very quickly, so they're not into the fake stuff. Like, no, I'm not interested.
No phonies.
Mm-hmm. And then they tend, advocates tend to draw a lot of influence or attention, and so a lot of people tend to want to be their friend, but they don't like to have a lot of friends. So there's this hard balance of trying to find the ones that work right for them. Mm-hmm. Which I think works really well. Especially, like, having this new job that I have a lot more coworkers compared to my most recent last job. That's very true. Like, I have a lot of people who we interact really well and really regularly and stuff. But I'm not interested all that much in hanging out with this many people, like, regularly, because friendships take a lot of work. Like, for me, I don't want 20 friends because I don't have the energy for 20 friends. Because if I have friends, then I'm gonna, those are, like, my do or dies. Those are my people that, like, when something goes wrong, I want you to be able to call me and be like, oh my gosh, I don't have a babysitter. Can you please come pick up Amelia?
Which I have.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I can't do that for 20 people, though.
Yeah,
I can only do that for a short list.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think that fits really well.
That does fit very well for you.
Parenthood. I feel like you have a lot more to say on this one.
Not really. It was, like, quick notes. So, yeah, parenthood. Entertainers are some of the most relaxed, fun-loving parents out there. Actually, I do have a lot to say on this because I'm just going to read all of them and then I'll tell you everything. Okay. So the next bulletin that I wrote was, overbearing structures and tightly scheduled activities aren't a big part of our lives. And the last one, discipline isn't a strong suit. And then I put LOL. Because, so the middle one, overbearing structures and tightly scheduled activities, yeah, I agree with this. It's not a thing in my household. And I've, like, said that, like, ever since I became a mom. Especially with Andre and I's, like, schedule, especially when both of us were managers, our times were very off. Like, we would come home late at night and our daughter would still be up waiting for us. And, like, and just, we would all sleep in until 10, 11 o'clock. And, you know, times have changed. I don't manage anymore. So, you know, my hours are definitely different now and I'm home more. But that was a thing. So, definitely no structures. I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah, you don't have, like, specified nap times or meal times or anything like that. And you never have.
And I never have. I don't see. Yeah. So, going back to, I just go day by day and take it as it is. So then why I wrote LOL next to discipline isn't a strong suit is because I do discipline a lot. And I'm not harsh, but I know when she should be doing something and when she isn't. And when she isn't, I don't take it lightly. I'm not, I don't, like, I don't know, especially at this stage right now, her toddler stage, I know that she's still learning and, like, there's lots of mistakes and all that, but, like, at the same point, I think that is a strong thing to have.
Listening to that was also an LOL for me before you said it, because, okay, so just an easy example from today.
Yeah.
Amelia really wanted to sit on my lap. We weren't filming yet, and I'm trying to write these notes because I did not prepare for this podcast. So I'm sitting here with the computer and taking notes on all of this stuff, and Amelia wanted to sit on my lap, and she really wanted to draw or help. She kept saying she wanted to help. So I was letting her, like, do the arrow down as we were scrolling, which was totally fine. And she, like, obviously doesn't have a lot of control. So she, like, accidentally scrolled it way too high. This was happening, like, a couple of times. And I'm, like, being super patient. It didn't bother me at all, honestly. I was not frustrated or anything. I was ready to let her sit here and just do it. Like, it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But you stepped in and you were like, no. Okay, you're done. Because you've done it too many times, so let's stop. And, like, for me, I'm not a mom to start off with. I'm not a parent, so I don't know how a parent, when it comes to that.
Right.
But I do find working with Amelia, and perhaps this is because I'm not her mom, like, a lot of things I'm just like, it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. But when she does things more than once, you tend to step in a little bit faster than, like, I would want, you know?
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to a reaction with me and her, an interaction with me and her, it's like, it's not bothering me. You don't need to.
Yeah, and I also know that you would tell her, like, okay, we're done. Like, no, don't do that, or blah, 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 which you have. But it's just, I am very, that person said no one too many times for me, so you need to now listen. It's now just a matter of, you're being nice, and you're not, and the things you're doing aren't on purpose. It's just you need to not. You need to listen.
Like, I'm not afraid to tell her no.
Yeah,
like, it's not like,
as you shouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not afraid to tell her don't touch that.
Yeah,
like she always touches the mic. She really wants to touch the mic. And I'm like, you know not to do that.
No. Anyway, so that's all I have on parenthood.
Yeah. My parenthood, the advocates tend to raise independent, all-around good people. They focus on raising you as an equal, which I find all of the notes for the parenthood fits what I expect me to be as a parent. But I'm not a parent yet, so I don't know. And then it says that they'll raise unique children, and they have a strong position on the differences between right and wrong. I feel like as a parent, it'll be more likely that I'm concerned if they're doing something, like, mean or rude.
Yes.
Like,
I know what you mean.
Like, if they have siblings and they're punching each other, that's not okay. Like, that's a difference between right and wrong.
Right.
Versus if you're scrolling too much on the computer, I probably wouldn't care as much. Like,
right.
I don't know. It's obviously something that I haven't experienced yet. So this is all just speculation.
Right.
But that's my theory on that.
I like it. Okay, so the next one was career path. So for my career path, entertainers genuinely enjoy spending time with others and getting to know them. They would make wonderful, inspiring counselors, social workers, personal coaches, and consultants for customer satisfaction. We pump as much energy and fun into the day-to-day work, which is going back to what I said. Yes, because I'm like the liveliness. We are great at reading other people's moods. So I read it all because I'm just going to go over it all together. That, like, so as you know, and if you don't know, if this is your first listen or viewing, I am a server at a restaurant, and I've worked in the restaurant industry. That was my first job, basically. So, like, it's all I've known, and it's all I do, and I absolutely love it. I get asked all the time, like, do you like your job? You know, by guests that come in wanting to strike a conversation, and they're like, do you enjoy your job? Do you like it? Or why'd you step down from management and all this stuff? And I'm like, because I love talking to people. I love, like, getting to know you. Like, I want to have that conversation. I'm not just here to be your, like, a server taker and that's it. Like, let's make the best of this. And that's so me. And so I think that's so perfect. And going back to in the beginning of this podcast, like a show, like I'm a showman, you know what I mean? And so, like, not saying like I want to put on a show and I'm fake, but like I want to
like step into the role.
Yeah. So anyways, I think it fits very, very well, and pump up like the energy and fun into day-to-day work. Like I'm very lively. I'm not pouty, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And then great at reading other people's moods. So I wrote this down, and it isn't really like that important into this, but I wrote it down because it's so funny when someone like walks into work mad or high, and like I can just tell, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Or like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from you today, or like certain things like that. And I just I'm like, that was perfect. Perfectly put in there for me.
Yeah, and I think that we both do pretty well, and I think that's why we very easily like match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was it for my career path. Just like I'm in the perfect industry.
Yeah. Mine. Okay, so it's interesting that it talked about like social working and what was the other thing?
Personal coaches and a consultant. Yeah.
So mine also said life coach, but then it also goes into some other things. So advocates tend to struggle to begin a career early. They tend to see a lot of paths and how each one would fit really well for them. Perfect. And then they don't know how to go, which one to fit on. And I'm like, oh, interesting. No wonder.
Cool.
They tend to want to be able to help or have like a connection with people. All very fitting for me. And some of the careers that they mentioned that would work really well for an advocate is anything in healthcare, counseling, psychology, doctors, life coaches, and spiritual guides, which doesn't fit very well for me, but that's beside the point. That has more to do with my upbringing and stuff. And all of these, like, so the helping aspect so I'm studying to be a sign language interpreter, and in the deaf community and stuff, we don't use the word helping because there's a lot of pride and proud of being deaf, and like we don't need help. But the word advocate fits really well.
Would I guess or no? Because that would still be help.
Yeah, in the aspect of interpreting.
I didn't know that. Okay, good to know.
So like a lot of people look at an interpreting role because it's communication skill and stuff, and it's kind of an helping role.
Okay.
Because you're there to work with the deaf and stuff. But the word help we don't use.
Okay.
Because it's
interesting.
It's kind of like politically incorrect. But we use the word for advocate. So like people who understand the like oppression and discrimination and stuff like that deaf people have experienced, but who are in the hearing world and who can hear and speak and stuff like that. We like can live our day-to-day lives and whatever without interpreters and without the discrimination and stuff. There's a high expectation in the community for us to be advocates and for us to not just speak up for the deaf, but to help get them into the conversation. So like there's a lot in that. We could have like a whole podcast about that if we really wanted to, but that really fits really well for me because some of the things that brought me to interpreting in the beginning was the idea that like it would be supportive. That's also a good word that we use in this industry and stuff, is like I want to be able to support those so that they can get where they want and need to be. And it's not so important that like I'm the leader. It's more important that I get to help, which we don't use that word, but we get to support.
Tricky. That's a tricky word
really
to
hard.
Avoid.
Yeah, it is. It is. So it fits really well. And then I'm in healthcare now. I really love my position now is different, but being a care coordinator, because I was there for 9 months, I was in direct care with these kids who are in rehab for different mental health stuff, and it really brought me a lot of joy, even though the job is hard, and I've seen some of the like saddest and like really difficult situations, and on the other side of things when it's like really hard and they're just like screaming at you or calling you names, like that's all happened.
Right.
But I really, really loved getting to know that I was supporting them in their recovery. Yeah. Whatever that looks like. And so, yeah, there are hard days. I've definitely cried because people were mean at work.
Right.
And situations have come up like that. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want to quit. I don't want to leave. So, like, it also fits really well for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah. And then the other word that came
perfect.
Up in career was creativity.
Oh, yeah.
Which...
For sure.
Does it fit for me?
Yes, I do think so, because, like, there are times where you tell me stories where, like, a situation will come about with... What are they called with like
the kids?
The kids. Is it just they're not called like clients or something?
They're called clients. They're called clients.
So when a situation comes about with a kid, you like have to think quick on how to react, and so you do have to get a bit creative because there's so many things that you can and cannot do, and so that's where I think that fits.
And it's so individual too. I mean, the other day in this new role, I'm not the first responder, so to speak. But I do meet with these kids one-on-one now. And so I was meeting with this girl, and she got really anxious in the conversation, started crying, and was not being able to regulate her breathing. And so, like, this isn't my role. This isn't what I need to be doing. I could have gone and gotten someone else, but I know what to do. So I asked her, like, hey, would some deep breathing exercises work for you right now to, like, bring you back to, like, a baseline? Which is not how I asked her, but... that's like what I was asking her. And she said yes. So I said, okay, we're going to count first. We're going to breathe in for 7 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then breathe out for 7 seconds. And we're going to do it 7 times. We didn't need it to do it 7 times. We only did it for 3. And I just like counted it out like this so she could also watch the count if she wanted to. And in this particular case, I've done that so many times with so many kids who are anxious. It works really well. If you're ever anxious, try that out. But that doesn't always work. So, like, sometimes you get into a situation. I mean, we've had kids where we had a kid who was really upset, and I had to go into their, like, information that we get, found out they like to play guitar, and I just brought the guitar. He would not...
That's the story that I remember, because that's amazing.
Yeah, he would not let me in the room. He kept slamming the door, but I brought the guitar in and just left it in there and left, and stayed by the door to make sure that they were safe. But,
and then you heard him playing, right?
Yeah, and he started playing immediately.
Awesome.
Like,
that's amazing.
And so then I knew he was okay, because I could hear that that's what he was doing. So, I mean, you have to figure out, okay, so I've tried this, nothing's working, now let's get creative and try to figure something else out.
So, see, it does work perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true. So,
so that was really it. Yeah. The last thing that I wrote was like, this is my little note. So basically, I'm a happy soul who loves to entertain and make those around me happy. And that was my little take.
It surprises me that you haven't ever well, I know you have said in the past, like, oh, maybe I'll start a YouTube channel, or, like, I know that you do like, Instagram stuff, but it surprises me that you've never tried any of those outlets more broadly, because entertainment, like...
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that I've toyed with and played around with in my head a lot. And I don't know why. I literally can't tell you a reason why I never actually did it. Because I'm not nervous. I'm not shy. No. I could care less if...
Do you think it's more about, like... Because there's a lot of background processing, like editing and thumbnails.
That could be it.
That
could be it.
That just feels like too big of a learning curve.
As too much. Maybe. Well, that tells you who edits our videos.
Yeah, I definitely do all of that. Actually, no, you did do our last one, but then your technology is
it's not working out. Yeah, so anyways. So that was really it on the personality. I think they both fit us very, very well.
It is fun. Pretty crazy. That. We'll link the personality test down below. We'll find a link to it so really that you can take it if you're interested.
Andre's actually said he was going to take it.
Yeah, and I want to make... Matt has taken it in the past.
You should.
But I want him to take it again so that we can also just, like, inky peeky at it on our two couple.
Pinky?
Shut up.
I've never heard that word.
I haven't ever said it before. I don't know what it meant.
That so much.
But, like, peek on it during our couples episodes. I think that would be also cool.
I mean, and it strikes up a conversation for sure, so you can definitely go and talk. I like that. I like that for sure.
Do we have a quote for the week?
I do have a quote for the week. There's not really anything that, like, it's tied to. It's kind of just like Andre is a huge baseball geek, and we watch he is so sad, guys, because there's no nothing. We had bought $85 on tickets for opening day. There was like 4 or 5 of us that were going, and opening day anyways, a couple days ago he was watching like this documentary, and so there was a quote in it by Jackie Robinson, and I absolutely loved it. So a life that is not important except a life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives, which was just really strong and, like, important to me, that, like, it's not only about you, it's also about, like, others that make your life great. You can't, So, anyways, that was it. That was my take.
How do you see that? Like, because, okay, my question fits really well with what I want to say in regards to my personality and that.
Okay.
So, that quote initially makes me go, because, like, you don't have to be, like, famous to be impactful. Right. And that's where I initially went, hearing the quote when we looked at it earlier. Right. And then I started thinking about it, and the more I started thinking about it, the more I was thinking, okay, like, smaller picture, though. You impact everyone that you interact with on a daily basis. Do you go into the grocery store and, like, smile at the people who work there?
Yeah.
Or do you act like an asshole and be rude to them? Like, just as a small thing. So it can be that small, and that really fits really well with my personality.
No, yeah. I like that. Especially with, like, the fact that, like, I just, like, I don't know, my whole personality test. Like, I'm an entertainer. I love to go in and make people happy. Why am I going to go in and be, like, a sour puss and just, like, what's the point of that? Like, I want to if I'm going to impact somebody and make somebody else happy, if they're in a mood, then that makes me feel way greater inside.
That's always the goal. Just to bring some joy.
That is it. That's all I got.
That's our episode.
That was good. So yes, you were going to link the the personality test, the specific one, because it was really, really good. So
we also have a bunch of social media linked down below. We have a Twitter and Instagram for Girls Who Gab, as well as our individual stuff. We also have links down to, if you don't want to watch, for those watching, then there's links to the Spotify and Apple podcast, because we're up on both now.
Literally so stoked. It's a whole different, like, it's weird because I listen to podcasts all the time, but I don't think I've ever watched a podcast and listened to them. Oh. Because I didn't have a need to do both. Do you know what I mean? Also, that's not too common out there. And so watching and making ours, and then like when it got out on podcasts on the Apple podcast, I went and listened to it. And I listened to our Grey's episode 2, last episode. You should watch that. It was really good. I'm just 2 episodes ago. Anyways, it just got me so excited and like
it's weird because I don't watch my own videos back almost ever. I watch my vlogs every once in a while when it's like more about the experience of who I was with and stuff. Okay, but I don't watch my own videos ever. I do not rewatch them back.
Because you get awkward though.
I hate them. I love making them. I love it, but I do not like rewatching them. But I've watched both of our episodes that are out as of right now. I've watched each of them once, and I've listened to both of them twice on each
platform.
Yeah, platform. And I just
it's so exciting, guys. Yes.
They make me happy. All right, with that is our episode. So,
yep.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.